Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast for the haunted attraction and haunted entertainment industry. Whether you're an actor owner or just plain old aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. And we are back.
Yes.
It has been 2 wonderful but very tiring weekends for us.
Yeah, no kidding.
We have had absolutely wonderful times, to be very clear. But we are pooped.
Just a little bit.
And our last dying act of sanity and exhaustion before we go to bed, before between 1 and 13 eternities, is to record this podcast. So if we sound a little tired, we sound a little drifty-offy, not to call for an ambulance or anything.
Right.
We're just a little bit tired.
Well, they get this late anyway,
yeah,
so it wouldn't
true.
do any good to call for an ambulance.
That's true. If we'd had aneurysms now during recording, we'd be dead.
Exactly.
Okay, good point. Guess I didn't think this one all through. It's not like they're listening live.
No.
Okay, fair enough. Live on Haunt Weekly, the death of one of the co-hosts. But yes, we are back, and it is time for episode 60. Now, episode 60, as we all know, is divisible by 4, so that means it's time to do a Ukrainian polka dance.
You go right ahead. I'm going to do the news.
We're going to do the news. All right, fine. The news probably is way more capable for us to do. But it is time for us to do the news. But we do begin our shindig, as usual, with conference reminders.
We do.
So, shall we kick it off?
Yes.
Want me to do it? Well, coming up this week. This week. Oh my God, time flies. It is in Nashville, Tennessee. It is HauntCon at the Sheraton Nashville Airport. There will be tours of the Haunted Hill Nashville, Nashville Nightmare, and Slaughterhouse. You can learn more at hauntcon.com. Pick up your last-minute tickets. Check it out. We will not be there this year. We are sorry, as we explained on Twitter. Jobs did not align.
Right.
But we have been to the last 2, and I will tell you straightforward, this is an awesome show.
Great networking.
Yep. And a great opportunity, especially if you're newer in the industry, to really pick up some of the basics, meet some people that can help you out. Great information.
Exactly. All right, then, February 18th through 19th, we have Windy City Haunters in Oak Lawn, Illinois. Midnight Terror Haunted House. Tickets are just $20. How can you pass this up?
Dude, if I were anywhere near Chicago, I would be snapping these up. Seriously.
It includes free classes, a mixer, and an after party. WindyCityHaunters.com.
You gotta be very careful saying that.
I know. You mentioned this last time. Check out their Facebook. Their Facebook is linked from their website.
Yeah, and that's where they have the most up-to-date information.
Yes.
So definitely check it out. My old man's a sailor.
Yeah, I know.
It's that exact joke.
Really close.
Really close. Look up Smothers Brothers if you don't get that reference. Just trust me, it's funny. Trust me, I'm funny, okay?
Well, they're funny.
I'm mooching off their...
Jury's still out on you,
Love you, too. Okay, but then March 23rd to the 26th, it's Trans World Halloween and Attraction Show. The HA Show, as we like to call it here. Mm-hmm. It's in St. Louis, Missouri at the America Center. Early bird discounts are still in effect and pretty much in effect up until the door. They're $50 off. And this year they have Escape Room City, an entire zone. This is a quarter of the trade show floor dedicated to escape rooms. So if you're thinking about opening an escape room, looking to getting into the escape room industry, this is a great place to start. And you can learn more at the HA Show, HAA Show.com.
Yes. And then, if you haven't had enough of escape rooms, there's the Room Escape Conference and Tour, May 1st through 5th. It'll be in Niagara Falls, New York, at the Niagara Falls Conference and Event Center. Tours of 5 Wits, Escape Games Canada, and Locked Up Escape Games. Obviously, you will need some way to get back and across.
Across the border.
Yes.
I.e., a passport is what we are alluding to, or a passport card if you're an American.
Conference is the 1st through the 3rd, and tours are the 4th and the 5th. RoomEscapeShow.com for more info on that.
Indeed. Then you have the West Coast Haunters Convention May 12th through the 14th in Portland, Oregon at the Doubletree Hotel. They have the Hour to Midnight Room Escape, the Labyrinth Room Escape, and the Escapism Room Escape. because we're from the redundancy department, so you get redundancy. But yes, you can learn more at hauntersconvention.com. So a lot of escape room themed stuff this year.
No kidding. I mean, that's just
That's 3 in a row. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, and that's a Haunters convention, but it's mostly escape rooms.
Yeah, and Transworld's dedicating a quarter of his trade show floor. Just saying, guys.
I know. We're going to have to get somebody on to talk about that.
We may have reached peak escape room.
All right.
We'll talk about that later, though.
June 8th through 11th, we have Midwest Haunters Convention in Columbus, Ohio. It'll be at the Greater Columbus Center, touring the Scaratorium and others. MidwestHauntersConvention.com for more info on them.
And then after that, July 29th and 30th, it's Midsummer Scream in Long Beach, California, the Long Beach Convention Center. It's put on by the wonderful people behind Creepy LA and Theme Park Adventures. Not many details right now, but check out midsummerscream.org. That's midsummer, singular, scream.org. So there's one S there, .org, to get more information and stay on top of stuff.
Okay. August 4th through 5th, it will be Haunt Fair in Ronkonkoma, New York. They will be doing a haunted bus tour on Friday, a bus that goes around to haunted places, and it's haunt-fair.com for more info.
And we wrap it up with 2 shows that don't have a lot of details right now. We have Scare LA, August 5th through 6th. It's in Los Angeles. They don't know the location. They just know the dates. ScareLA.com, last year's show, was hosted by Elvira. This is a great show for meeting celebrities. They always seem to have them.
Yes. And finally, August 25th through 27th, Halloween and Haunt Fest show. It'll be in the Dallas-Fort Worth area at the Mesquite Convention Center. No updates yet, but HalloweenandHaunt.com for more info when they do get it.
Yeah, it's got the new dates, but not the new information. Stay tuned. I'm sure something awesome will be happening there. Because last year they had Tater.
Yes.
As we kept saying was coming up this year. It was last year.
Yes.
They had Tater.
It was last year.
But yes, it is episode 60. So it's time to do the news. And we actually have a lot to go through. It always fascinates me with this, because when we get to right around this time of year, and I sit down to do show notes, I'm always thinking, how the hell am I going to fill show notes with news in late January?
Yeah.
And then somehow it always happens.
Yeah.
So yes, we have a lot to go through this time around, and we're starting off on a couple of sad notes, actually.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer to begin with, but we do have some cool stuff coming down the line.
Right.
So, yeah, stay tuned, race fans. But yes, first off, Disney fans, haunt fans, fans of all stripes have come together to celebrate, and as according to the headline, and mourn the closing of the Tower of Terror in Disneyland, California.
Right.
Now, we had announced this was going to happen previously. It was all the way back in episode 24. You can listen to it back in May. They announced it. And then basically what they said is, we're closing the Disneyland. We're going to make it a Guardians of the Galaxy attraction.
Right.
And that the one in Disney World in Orlando would not be touched.
Yeah.
So that one is still open. It's still going. That's the one I've been to, is the one in Disney World. I've never been to the Disneyland one.
Right.
But yes, it formally closed its doors earlier this month. And they seem to have thrown it a proper party.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. There were some people who were, dressed to the nines, and some people dressed in all black and wearing veils like they were going to a funeral. And
it was a party complete with a red carpet, fake paparazzi.
Yes.
Overpriced drinks.
Obviously.
And the possibility of buying a $34 paperweight in the shape of a hotel key.
Which sounds kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, it does. And for Disney prices, that's like $3. I mean,
yeah, I have an affinity for keys anyway,
yeah,
so I would definitely.
I might have noticed that trend.
Yeah.
But yes, it'll reopen later this year as a new attraction related to Guardians of the Galaxy. Should still be a great attraction, but still, it is a sad day for haunt lovers and Disney fans alike, because this was one of those attractions in both Disney Worlds that really took on a life of its own.
Yeah, it did. And, I was reading some of the comments from people, and some people were saying how they were sad. They weren't sad that they were changing it, but they were sad that they were changing it to something not as iconic as the Tower and, Twilight Zone. Obviously, it was
the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I think they dropped the Twilight Zone moniker and it just became Tower of Terror.
I couldn't remember. I don't think so.
Okay, I could not remember one way or the other on that one.
I think people just refer to it as Tower of Terror.
Yeah, well,
officially, it's still there.
Well, and that's kind of my thing about it too. Is that Tower of Terror? the theme of it, Twilight Zone or not be damned, the theme of it was very, very timeless.
Yeah.
A classy hotel set in the bourgeois Hollywood era.
Yeah.
And, all this stuff, and an elevator accident, and it's such classic terror stuff.
Right.
And an amazing, timeless environment to me. And, it's one of those things, it just didn't age.
Yeah. Well, and they're replacing it with Guardians of the Galaxy. They're giving it a makeover.
Yeah, which I grant, Guardians of the Galaxy, huge movie, huge thing.
Yeah, but it's also very new.
It's very new, and it could prove to be just a fad.
It could be.
And, I feel the same way, and hey, this is someone that loves Lilo and Stitch, man.
Yeah.
Dude, I own like 50 Stitches downstairs. I'm not
you are exaggerating a little bit.
Not exaggerating that much, but we do own a lot of Stitches.
We do.
We own at least a couple dozen of various sizes and shapes, including the talking one, which is my favorite. Mm-hmm. You can actually have a conversation with Stitch. It's pretty bitchin'. Yeah. I'm just saying. But yeah, we got keychains, we got stuffed animals, we got Aloha Stitch, we got all the Stitches. I was still disappointed when they turned Alien Encounters into Lilo and Stitch, the Stitch experience.
Yeah.
It hurt me a little bit to hear that it had happened. And like I said, I love Stitch. I'm fanatic, but man, that still hurt a little bit for the same reasons.
Yeah.
Because, an alien encounter, that's timeless, that's ageless.
Yeah.
We're always going to be scared of ravenous aliens. Who knows how popular Stitch will be in 5 years' time?
Yeah, I don't know that people younger than us are really into him now.
I agree. But yeah, so I don't know. I have a little bit of worry about that maybe Disney is trading some of its timelessness for banking on some of its current trends. Yeah. And that worries me, and that seems to be killing some of especially their haunted and fear-based attractions. Right. So, sad day in Disneyland. But like I said, the one in Orlando is untouched. You can still go check it out. It's at the, I think it's, I forgot what it's called. The studio, it was, I'm wanting to call it MGM, but I know it's not that anymore. God, my brain just totally farted on it. But anyways, it's in Disney World in Orlando. Go check it out. It's a great attraction. Well, this next story was really interesting. Bartonville, Illinois. This fascinates me. Bartonville is a town dominated by two haunted attractions. Technically, it's a village, according to this article. So we're talking a really small town here. Right. But it's got two key attractions, Asylum Acres and Haunted Infirmary. The Haunted Infirmary is actually in an old asylum.
Right. Which sounds awesome.
Mm-hmm. Now, what happened is the guy behind Haunted Acres worked with Haunted Infirmary, wanted to break off and do his own thing, and they seem to have coexisted pretty peacefully side by side. Right. Which is always good when haunts can procreate. Yes. Like that, peacefully. It's a surprisingly rare thing. But it seems as if the village is intent on trying to put the kibosh on this haunted house thing a little bit.
Yeah, because one of the things you've got to understand is that in Illinois, they already have very strict rules and regulations for haunted houses. Exactly. More so than just a regular attraction there. Yes. And I know that's similar in some other states.
Well, yeah. I mean, there are national guidelines and there's state guidelines, and it keeps going down. In a lot of places in this country, you start off, you only have the national ones. The county, the city, whatever, don't have any guidelines, any ordinances. Yeah. So you have just the national ones to maintain, and that's fine. But yeah, basically what happened is the village council there passed a series of very, very rough ordinances aimed at haunted attractions exclusively. Yeah. Yeah. Now, the ordinance requires a $500 licensing fee. Okay, that's not too bad by itself. Yeah. But it also requires them to carry up to $1 million in insurance. Yeah. In the event of death or injury. Has strict requirements for fire sprinklers. Fire exits have to be positioned every 20 feet.
Yeah, that's the one that I think is going to be the most problematic. Mm-hmm. Because knowing from industries that I've worked in the past, we held $1 million insurance. Yeah. And it actually wasn't as much as it sounds like it should be. Because that's a big number to throw out there. But I think that that's more doable than fire exits every 20 feet.
I would agree with that. And also, as we're going to note in a second, fire sprinklers in the trees.
Yes. Yes.
Because And okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves though. All haunts must have a police-approved parking plan, which that's fairly normal in and of itself. That's not out of whack or anything. But it also puts strict limits on the days of operation.
Not only the days, but also the hours they can be open.
Yeah, and that was the one that to me was the killer, because even if you comply with everything else on this list, you now have a limited growth.
Yeah.
You can't do a Valentine's Day event. You can't open earlier in the season or do flashlight nights after.
Right.
You know the days you can be open. You have a limit. It's only like 9 days a year.
Yeah. It's insane. It really is.
It's a really, really tight requirement, and it's very, very rough. And like I said, it includes outdoor attractions. So according to the owner of Asylum Anchors, they are being required to sprinkler the forest.
Yes. Yeah. Why not?
Good luck with that one, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. I do not have a plan on how you even would go about that.
Run hoses through the trees
and
pipe or something.
I guess so. And the thing about it is that the village council on this basically says part of their minutes that they're hoping to contain this haunted attraction problem.
Yeah, they see it as a problem, not as a reason for people to come to their town and spend money at their restaurants and stuff. It's frustrating.
It is.
But it's also one of those things where if I were an outdoor haunt especially, I would see about moving a county
if
over.
Possible, moving out at least out of the village boundaries.
If possible, yeah.
Because that's the thing. I mean, there are towns and there are counties that view haunted attractions like any other business. Something to encourage, something to support. They want it to be safe.
Yeah.
But they want to encourage the business. They want to help them be successful.
Right.
Because if they're successful, they pay more taxes, they draw tourism dollars in, and those tourists go eat at local restaurants, as they said. They shop at local stores.
Right.
They pay the tolls on the road. You
Yeah.
know, they participate in that local economy. And then there are counties and towns and so forth that just see haunted attractions as a nuisance to be, and this seems to be very much the case here in Bartonville. This is an article from the Journal Star we're reporting from.
Right.
Now, to be clear, the Haunted Infirmary says that they will comply. They didn't seem to think there was much in here. And depending upon how the infirmary's laid out, they may be right.
Right.
Because they might already have those emergency exits and so forth at the correct distance and all that.
Right.
That may already be something, because that you're working from a pre-existing building. But the Asylum Anchors have said they'll be forced to close because they have no way of meeting these sprinkler requirements and other things. So, this is a really frustrating story for me because I've always, we've been reporting recently on really, really cool tales of counties and towns getting it, working with it, like the Netherworld being helped with their move and clearing all these regulatory hurdles like that. We've been talking about those stories, and it's been like, yes, counties and towns are getting it. People are understanding haunted attractions bring money, and money is good, and blah, blah, blah. Not everybody.
No, not everyone.
There's always the gut punch in there.
Yeah, and I wonder if it says specifically haunted attractions in these ordinances, or if it's going to have some unintended consequences for other events that they haven't thought of.
Yeah.
That happened here in New Orleans, actually, because we have extra fees for events on the nights that they're open.
Yeah.
And it was targeted originally at haunted attractions. Yes. And now it's applied to many other things that go on here.
Temporary events in general.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, we're in New Orleans. Temporary events abound.
Yes, they're a weekly thing.
I believe I read somewhere there's like 500, hundreds of festivals every year of various sizes and shapes.
Yeah.
There's 500 parades every year.
Yeah. Well,
it's crazy.
The other thing I'm wondering is that if they couldn't get around this by trying to be zoned as something else.
Like,
there was the room escape that we did recently that had called themselves a museum.
Yeah.
And I always wonder, I want to do some research into it, obviously, to see if they did that in order to get around some of those event licensing fees that are just outrageous.
Yeah, or if it was just like the closest business type possible.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure when you look at the business categories and getting your business license, Room Escape is not on the list.
Well, yeah, I don't think it's on the list, but I also think that, like a arcade thing for kids is closer than a museum.
Okay, fair enough. Well, anyways, moving on to the next story. This one's actually a positive one. I'm happy about this one. In Dooms, Virginia.
Yes.
Man, you could not ask for a better town name for this.
Nope.
Caitlin Man? Is that how you say her last name? Is converting an old mill into a haunted house. Now, the mill was built in 1860 and has been abandoned. And I thought this was kind of curious because I saw it was built in 1860 and it's like, well, that's not on like a historic registry or something. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't seem to be.
No.
It doesn't seem to be protected in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
And what they're doing is they're renovating. Now, they're being very careful to treat it like a historic building, whether it's on a registry or not. They're not permanently making any changes. It's sort of being like built because it's a big mill, so it's a big empty building. They can do this.
Right.
They're constructing it as a set inside the mill.
Yeah.
But they are also taking the opportunity to make improvements. They're patching leaks in the roof. They're reinforcing and fixing some of the walls.
Right.
They're repairing a historic building that has been super neglected.
Right. And basically, part of that mentality comes from growing up in homes that needed a lot of tender love and care to get to be livable. Mm-hmm. And then once they were, much better, moving to another home that needed a lot of care. This is how she grew up.
Yeah. And, she's treating it right. And the reason I love this story is because it's a second chance for her as a haunter.
Right.
They have one haunt now that they are, the Madame Returns haunted house. They opened last year. That was their first season. This is their second run at it.
Yeah.
So it's a new start for haunting for them, and a new start for this old abandoned mill.
Right. And the other thing is if you watch the interview that's in the linked article with her, you can tell that she has a real enthusiasm, passion, and sees it as an art project and is a haunter. Yeah. So she's got the love of haunting there, which I find really appealing. And
it's to a haunter. One of the reasons why I think our industry has so many conventions is because try to explain what you do and your love to your non-haunt friends. Yeah. Go ahead. We've all been there. Yeah. And we all know that blank eye, thousand mile stare we did. Wait, you enjoy painting blood and guts and scaring people? What's wrong with you?
Making props and figuring out
angles
zombies. Of attack and
what the hell's wrong with you? You're weird. Yeah. I don't know if I can be your friend anymore.
Yeah. Well, there's that, and there's also I like that she isn't pure business minded. Yeah. Because there are some people who just buy places and say make a haunt inside. And they're only worried about the bottom line. Yeah. Which, you do need to be worried about the bottom line, but I also like to see the passion. You
can do that, but you have to hire someone creative underneath you or a partner with someone to be the creative driving force. Yep. Because purely being worried about the dollar doesn't always produce the best haunted attraction.
No, it produces a showroom.
Yeah. And we actually saw that here in New Orleans, going way back.
Yeah, it's changed.
It's much improved. Yeah. But the very first year, look at this 11 years ago now, the mortuary opened, you could tell it was a haunt put on by businessmen. Yeah. It was a very, very nice location. Yeah. With tons of beautiful props. Yeah. But no real passion or direction or theming
and a lot of animatronics bought straight out of catalogs.
Yeah. It was, in effect, a showroom, as you said. Yeah. And what they've done since is they've pared down some of those animatronics, brought in more live actors, and have slowly built up their themes, their stories, their cohesiveness, worked on their angles of attack, worked on bringing it together as a whole.
I believe they've also switched art directors.
Oh, yeah. They've switched art directors multiple times.
Yep.
And it's always weird because when I go there, I don't always know in advance who the art director is. Right. But I can always tell if it's someone different.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can spot the years it changes. Because even though we know people in the mortuary, we try not to get spoilers.
Right. Yeah,
Right, shh, don't tell us anything.
Yeah.
That's like how we are for like the 3 months when they're doing the few months when they're doing the build.
Right.
It's everyone we know that works the mortuary, basically like unfollowing them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And when we go to meet them at karaoke or whatever, shh.
Don't tell us. We don't want to know yet.
Spoil it. This is like us. You're an actor in a movie. We're going to the movie. Just shut up. Don't ruin it for us.
Yep.
So we can tell though when it happens.
Yep.
But anyways, oh god, this next story. Okay, I got to start this next one off by saying, in all fairness, it does not really have much to do with the haunted attraction industry directly, the story.
Right.
But it's a very, very important reminder.
Yes.
I didn't think I'd ever have to give this reminder, but it's a very important reminder just because I didn't think this type of thing would happen. Yeah. All right. The story centers around a Elwood, Indiana man called Jalen Tunnel. And basically, he works as a part-time, or worked, I'm guessing now past tense is the correct, correct tense here, as a part-time corrections officer in the local county jail. Now, I'm a little confused as to exactly what happened, but basically, he made a call reporting a conservations officer reportedly speeding to an accident that never arrived.
Yeah.
And the result was that there was a huge police search that involved off-duty officers trying to find this possibly crashed or injured officer, and it turned out to be false.
Yeah.
Well, he admitted to making the call, and then they searched his home. And when they searched his home, they discovered multiple uniforms for Randolph County Sheriff's Department, including badges.
Yeah.
And what had been going on is he had impersonated being a police officer so he could get a job at the Indy Screen Park.
Yeah.
I'm assuming to do detail work.
Assumedly.
I can't think of any other reason, but...
No. Yeah. So it's a good reminder that if you're going to have hired security and things, do your background checks.
And I'm a little confused on how this happened.
Right.
Because here in New Orleans, if I wanted to hire a detail cop, I have to contact the NOPD.
Yeah.
And they have a detail department, and they have a big desk that handles this stuff. And it's all to ensure there are no conflicts of interest, and that the detail...
Sorry. It's New Orleans, and I know the story that came out a couple of years ago, okay?
I get why you laugh, but still, that's the stated purpose.
Yes, it is its stated purpose.
It's the stated purpose of this department, and also to ensure that the detail work is distributed fairly evenly, and that no officer is taking all of it, for example. Yeah. Or that one officer is getting all the cushy assignments or whatever. It's designed to sort of dole it out more fairly.
Right.
I'm guessing Randolph County doesn't have that process.
Yeah. But
still, if you're hiring detail officers and you're not doing it directly through the department, please call and check and confirm that they are working actually as a police officer. This story sounds crazy. It sounds like it's a 1 in a bajillion. It almost certainly is.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out the goal here.
The goal and what the heck happened. I mean, really. I don't understand this story.
I mean, okay, I know how he got the uniforms. That part's obvious.
Yeah.
I suspect the jail and the police department are in the same building, like a lot of county offices.
Yeah.
So he probably had access, and that part can make sense of. But why would you risk the felony, and this is a felony, of impersonating an officer to get detail work, seasonal detail work at a haunted attraction?
I don't know. It's just...
That sounds crazy, and...
yeah.
I mean, because if you want to make, a few grand, there are much, less illegal ways.
Right.
If you're determined to go the crime route, you could probably keep it in misdemeanor territory and still reach that level of money.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm trying to figure out the angle. But seriously, guys, do take your time, check your hires, including your detail hires.
Yeah.
Ideally, I think the NOPD system, even though it has its flaws, has had a few unsavory stories spread about it.
Yeah.
I still believe it to be the best system is to hire through the department directly, whatever department you're hiring through.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's the best way. All right. Well, moving on to another haunted attraction that opened, and actually, if you're in London and you're listening to this right as it goes live, you still have a chance.
Because it ends on the 23rd of January. It ends
like hours from uptime, I believe. You might have a shot, but not likely. But long story short, Capcom, the video game company behind the Resident Evil series, is promoting Resident Evil 7 with a special haunted house event in London.
Yes, it is for couples.
Or duos of some sort. 2 at a time, basically. Yes. It doesn't necessarily have to be married or engaged.
No.
2 people. It could be you and your best friend. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
2 people.
Yes.
At a time. And basically 28 pairs are admitted per day. Now, like I said, it's a 4-day event, basically. Yeah. 20th to the 23rd. So that's a little bit over 100 pairs. 200 people are going to get to see the inside of this.
Right. For free.
For free, yes. It's totally...
For free!
For free. Now, I'm assuming you're going to be signing waivers to be videotaped and whatnot. Yeah. That's fine.
Promotional stuff. Yeah, I think that this is a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
Because we had the whole episode on what haunters can learn from video games.
Yes.
Well, apparently video games are trying to learn from haunts and escape rooms.
Yes, and we've seen previously Bacardi used a haunted attraction as a promotional tool.
Yeah.
And so that seems to be a growing thing among for advertisers is to use small niche haunted attractions as a means to promote something.
Yeah. Which is pretty interesting, and I think it's a great fit to do it with a horror game series like Resident Evil that has a following. Yeah. I mean, these guys have been around for a long time.
God, PS1 days, oh my god.
Yes.
Oh wow, I remember playing the original Resident Evil and getting murdered instantly because the controls were just god-awful.
Yeah, but, so...
I couldn't hit the zombie, okay? I couldn't. I kept trying to shoot the zombie.
Yeah.
Sorry, traumatic experience.
Uh-huh. So it's part haunted house and part escape room with puzzles. But wasn't that kind of the way the game was set up too?
Yeah,
because you had to figure out puzzles inside of Resident Evil to advance the game. So it's pretty much real life Resident Evil.
And that's the other thing is, like, as Resident Evil the series has gone, the balance between gunplay and puzzle play shifted and waxed and waned and whatnot. The first one was very, very heavy on puzzles. I think we played 4, was it? Or was it 5?
Yeah, I've played more than 1.
We played several, but I remember we did the one as co-op.
Yeah.
That one was very puzzle heavy.
Yes.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where it makes sense. This is a natural connection of the two genres because, like you said, in many ways, Resident Evil, the game, is a haunted attraction inside a video game with escape room elements.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a very, very natural way of looking at it.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really stoked about this idea, and I wish we could get someone on the show that went through it.
Right.
But it's not going to be just a little bit over 200 people. It doesn't seem very likely. It'd be like 225 people, 24 people.
But if you happen to be one of those people...
if you happen to be one of those 224 or know someone, let us know. That'd be really, really cool to hear about it.
Have them contact us.
But I am sure that they are going to compile... Yeah, Haunt Weekly. Find us on Facebook at Haunt Weekly. Find us on Twitter, Haunt Weekly. But I'm sure they will... be posting video from it too.
Oh yeah.
So I'm sure this will be made into a promotional video.
Well, and part of the waiver might be a non-disclosure agreement too.
That's true.
So they might not be able to talk about it.
Fair enough, or at least no non-disclosure until it's over.
Well, until the footage is released.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, turning our eyes internationally for just one moment as we wrap up the
Because London wasn't?
Well, it's true. I guess London kind of was. Okay, continuing the international theme. London, by the way, that was London, Idaho.
No, it wasn't.
You're right. It was London, Louisiana.
Oh gosh, that probably actually.
That probably does. Actually, in this state.
But
anyway, other international news. More sad news. Or I don't know how to book this one. Actually, this is weird. We had mentioned way back when about the most haunted building in China and how it had become a tourist destination and a haunted attraction and had tours and all this other stuff going. Well, the owners of that building would like you to know that it is no longer haunted.
Yes.
That they have, and I can't even begin to pronounce that street name. It is way too many consonants.
Shaonai 81.
Yeah, Chalamet, 80, died at 81. Yeah, it's by the street name. But yes, it's a Beijing house, or a building rather, that has, like I said, reportedly been the site of all kinds of horrible atrocities. Supposedly, like, triple super haunted.
Right.
Long story short, it had been under renovation. When we reported it previously, they were planning to renovate it.
Right.
It has been under renovation. Now they have completed said renovations. And just for good measure, the Beijing Catholic Diocese went through, performed an exorcism, and claims to have purged all the ghosts.
Right.
So the building will no longer be open to the public, no more tours, no more roaming around. Instead, it will be rented as an office building. How damn boring.
Yeah, no kidding. You had something cool there. And you wouldn't turn it into an office building.
Well, I mean, I think this is a bit of a different mindset if you think about it, because we were just in the French Quarter a couple weekends ago.
Right.
And I remember walking down the street and seeing a real estate sign, because they can't do like the yard signs in the French Quarter, so they hang them from little awnings. And it's like, such realty, and below it was the sign, not haunted.
Yeah.
And then you walk further down the street, getting around the corner, another sign hanging, got the realtor place below it, haunted.
Yep.
Like, boom, this one actually is haunted.
Yes, something happened here.
Buy this one if you want a haunted residence.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's an interesting way to promote your building that you're trying to sell. But they apparently did not feel the same. So they are trying to assure everyone that the ghosts and goblins and whatever else are gone and the building is no longer haunted. Now, if spooky and scary stuff starts happening again in that building, we're going to know the jig's up.
Oh, yeah.
The exorcism didn't take. Something went wrong.
Yeah.
I have a feeling this may not be the last update on this building.
Yeah, probably not.
I have a feeling on that one.
Yeah.
All right, so for our last two stories this week, we wanted to turn our attention to escape rooms a little bit.
Because all of the conferences are covering them.
And there's a fair amount of escape room news going down right now.
Right.
We already talked a little bit about the London thing with Resident Evil. But we have two other ones. And the first is a new escape room in Washington, D.C. Escape Room Live has launched a Ghostbusters-themed escape room.
Right. And this is off of the original Ghostbusters, not the reboot.
The Peter Venkman, Egon, and all that stuff. Those guys.
Yes. Slimer.
Yeah, Slimer. All that. I think Slimer was in the reboot. I haven't seen but a few minutes of the reboot. You have to forgive me.
I think he probably is in there again because, he was CGI to begin with.
Yeah,
so.
they didn't have to get the actors what we're saying.
Exactly.
Pretty much any voice actor can go,
They probably just used the original recordings.
Or that too, yeah. That could work too. But long story short, they have launched a Ghostbusters-themed escape room based on the original films. It uses augmented reality. They had to give you tablets and so forth, and you hold it up to things to see ghosts and other spectral things in it.
Right.
And... sorry, go ahead.
It reminded me a little bit watching the video of the VR haunted house game. In the PlayStation VR, where the players in the room around the person wearing the VR headset can see the ghost, but the VR person has to move their head. And then once you get locked on with the gun, you can trap them. Yeah.
Yeah, you are like an actual Ghostbuster in that game. And what's really fascinating about it to me is how many people don't know what an armoire is. So when you're shouting, armoire, like, what's an armoire? I'm like, oh, for the love of God, the ghost is gone.
Yeah.
Learn some English.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The closet thingy.
The big closet thingy that would hold clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah, so I think this is actually, it's really interesting because this is a big license get.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
This is not something that is doled out willy-nilly, and I'm sure a lot of money was invested both in the room escape itself and in obtaining that license.
Right.
And so this is, I think we're getting to a point where escape rooms have reached probably the maximum amount of mainstream they can get.
Yeah.
Because when you're getting the Ghostbusters license on an escape room, that's tough to top.
Right. It's also interesting because this is the first one I've heard about that uses additional technology to help you find the clues and has interactive, not real characters.
Yeah.
Which is a cool idea.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious. Now, according to reviews of the game,
Right.
which have been, to be frank, mixed.
Yeah.
The biggest problem with the game is that those set effects don't always work.
Right. And, being the first time that there's going to be some bugs.
Yeah, and even if they're not the absolute 100% first, they're still fairly new in this area.
Right.
This is fairly new technology. So yeah, I can expect that there would be bugs. But also, having done room escapes, I know how frustrating it is on a time crunch when things don't work exactly as they're supposed to. When that door doesn't swing out and let you know that something happened.
You heard something click, but you don't know where it is.
You don't know what it was. You're supposed to know, but you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to actually be doing Garbage Horror, our review side of our operation. We'll be doing some room escape reviews starting very, very soon. And we'll do it. We'll let you guys know here when they go live.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to probably start recording those this week sometime. But yeah, basically, I can understand the frustration with that. But at the same time, you're right. When you're experimenting with new or new-ish technology, that's going to happen.
Yep.
So yeah, it's this boundary pushing both in terms of licensing and in terms of tech. I think it's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
Wish these guys well. If I were in DC, I would be in line to check this out. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should tell my brother or something to check it out. He's in the area.
He is.
He could give us a report.
Yes.
Oh, could be interesting. Oh, worth maybe we're thinking about.
Okay.
Well, our final story this week takes us to a Boston area comic shop. It's Comic Kazi.
Yes.
Because pun.
Very cute name.
Gave some of its patrons a very, very, very special experience.
Yes.
Basically, Chris Evans, a.k.a. Captain Flipping America.
Yeah.
But Flipping is Captain America's middle name.
Yeah.
You probably didn't know that. I'm such a Captain America buff.
That's what the F stands for.
Exactly. I'm such a Captain America buff. I don't know Captain America at all.
No.
I don't know. Dad, I know he has the shield, right?
He's
got the shield.
You didn't know who Chris Evans was before this, did you?
No.
Neither did I.
I couldn't have told you. I could have bumped into Chris Evans on the street and not known who the hell it was.
Sorry.
Anyways, long story short, is what they did is they teamed up with the comic to create a mini room escape. The idea was basically that they used a Captain America doll, plus walkie-talkies, and Chris Evans to lure them into the escape room.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, man. If I wander on the street and a Captain America doll starts talking to me, my first thought isn't, whoa, it's Chris Evans talking to me and telling me what to do. It's, oh, damn it finally happened.
Yep.
It's
finally
over.
cracked.
Finally cracked. It's over.
Yes.
Put the doll down. Go check yourself in.
Yeah, and this is another one of those articles that I would definitely watch the video on.
Yeah.
Because it's hilarious.
It is hilarious. But yes, he had him perform a variety of tasks. And the whole goal of this, it's not really an escape room, it's more around the area type thing.
Right.
The goal, though, is to gather clues in order to break it. It's sort of a reverse room escape.
Yeah.
You're not trying to escape the room you're in. You're trying to break into the room.
The secret hidden room, yeah.
In the basement to meet Chris Evans.
Yes, but you don't know that.
You don't know that, but you know you're trying to break into the basement.
Yeah.
So yeah. And this video was done in promotion for a larger fundraising effort. Basically, it's for Christopher's Haven. Now, it's a home for kids and their families. They're visiting the Massachusetts General Hospital for cancer treatment. The idea, very similar to like the Ronald McDonald houses.
Right.
A place that families can stay that aren't inside the hospital, that isn't the hospital itself.
Yeah.
They can be a family. They can have games. They can, have a sense of normalcy, basically. And it's designed to help fundraise for that. And if you donate to the campaign right now, which is ongoing, you will be entered to win a chance to meet Chris Evans, who, like I said, I would not have recognized before this.
Yeah.
And then go on a room escape adventure with him. And I'm going to say this, if I go into an escape room with Chris Evans and he screws up my perfect record, I don't care if he's Captain America.
You'll be upset.
There will be hell to pay. We're 3-0, goddammit. We're keeping that O.
Also, there is, at the end of the video, so I will tell you now as a spoiler.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah. He has hidden a code somewhere in the video to help you win that grand prize. And it includes dinner. I think it said burgers and beer, specifically.
Well,
plus
now
the
I'm
room
in.
escape.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Now I'm in.
Exactly.
Wait a minute. I could have beer with Captain America?
Yes.
That sounds pretty awesome. It must be 21 to enter.
Yes, probably so.
But yeah, this is very interesting, though, and this combines kind of with something else we've been talking about around here. Because we've got Captain Flipping America. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Sorry, Captain.
Don't mix up his name.
Don't mix up his name. Captain Flipping America. We've got Ghostbusters.
Right.
And as Ellie so commonly knows, she's the big TV watcher in the house.
Right.
You know, someone must have paid, and this is her word, someone must have paid ABC a lot of money to promote Room Escapes, because they had 3 shows with them, including 2 that were back-to-back.
Right.
Network television doing lots of Room Escape themed shows, and I know that Conan, not Conan the Barbarian, Conan the comedian, much less intimidating, did a Room Escape thing with his producer guy that the douchey producer that everyone likes to make fun of.
Right. And I actually just mentioned it to my family because we'll be going to see them soon. And they're like, oh, like on that TV show?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so word has gotten around a little bit.
Yeah, and it's really funny because we did one earlier today in Biloxi.
Yeah.
Mobile. Mobile. Oh, that's right. The game is in Mobile.
You've been thinking that all weekend.
I
don't know why.
It's because I've been going through, I see Biloxi, I don't know.
Yeah.
Geography was...
Anyway.
I'm not good at...
Anyway, we did the Room Escape in Mobile.
Yeah, we did the Room Escape in Mobile, but we did it with a friend of the family, so to speak.
Yeah.
And she was probably the last person on Earth not to have heard of this, I think.
Yeah.
Before... No, we told her about the idea.
Yeah.
And she had an absolute blast for the record. She really chewed it up. And we had a good time, too. It was a very interesting Room Escape. It was breakout games in Mobile.
Right.
Like I said, full review and all that stuff coming on Garbage Horror Side later. Blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, it was very, very interesting. Because when we told her, we sort of looked at each other and said, we might have just informed the last person in the country about this.
Yeah.
And now that your parents knew about it, then it's clearly the case.
Yeah, because they don't have high-speed internet.
They don't have high-speed internet. They do have television, which is how they learned about it, but they're not usually in the know on a lot of things.
No.
Don't turn to them for the hippest, savviest information on the trends going on, Daddy-O.
Yeah, they had no idea. Okay, so my brother was a big Pokemon fan, had no idea that Pokemon Go was a thing a year after it came out.
Yeah. Took him, that's how long,
Until I told him about it.
Which is weird to me because he has an iPhone.
Yeah. But
if you open up the App Store, even now, it's like heavily promoted. But,
Yeah, I think it's just the place in the country that they live.
I grant. You're probably right. But still, so yeah, we'll be doing probably a Room Escape with them sometime soon.
Right.
I don't know which one it's going to be, but we'll find one nearby. It should be a lot of fun. I think we've reached a very high level of saturation with this. I think pretty much if the people I'm thinking of know now, and they do, we're running out of new people to introduce the concept.
Yep.
And, I talk about peak Room Escape, and I think we might be heading that way.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with this particular genre of entertainment over the next year, whether it's something like plateaus and remains very, very high interest for a long period of time,
right,
or it's going to have a bell curve here.
Right.
I hope it doesn't. I would like it to stick around because I'm rather enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'd like to at least do a few more.
Yeah, I would too. I also am interested to see if haunts can actually get their customers to think about them as anything other than haunts.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about this when we were on the way to Mobile, the 3 of us were talking about this and about how there's a need for serious promotion to get your name out there off season. If you're going to do a Room Escape or anything else, it's going to be year round, whatever it's going to be. If it's going to be ghost tours inside your building or whatever, like the mortuary does, one of their things.
Or the haunted house up in Chicago that does basically quarterly events.
Yeah. You've got to be ready to invest that extra into promotion,
right? Because
people aren't used to thinking about you outside of September, October, and early November.
Right, and I think that it makes it easier for something like Breakout Games, which is a chain, to get into this business with a head start because they don't have a haunted house. Attached at them. Well,
and that's something we've noticed is that here in New Orleans, the Clue Curry and Escape My Room NOLA,
Right.
at least based upon the number of reviews given on various sites,
Right.
seem to be pulling away in terms of traffic and interest.
Yeah, from the two local haunted houses.
From the mortuary. 3. Yeah, 3. Well, you've got Rise, you've got 13th Gate, and the mortuary. Only mortuary is actually in New Orleans.
Right,
but,
and able to get to via streetcar, which makes it accessible to tourists.
Clue Curry is in the French Quarter, and the other one is CBD side, but only by like a $5 foot long. It's not by much. It's a very small distance that is not in the French Quarter. Right. So they're both in heavy tourist areas, I would say.
Yep. And
so is the mortuary. But yeah, so this is something I think is going to be interesting. The other thing about it is I think one of the things I find very interesting is only one of the 3 we've done have been horror themed. Yeah.
Well, and part of that was because the other 2 that we did, we had people that we knew did not like horror.
Yeah.
So we chose rooms purposefully.
But is that something to think about going down the road? I know this whole thing isn't we're done with the news, so we're just palling for them to kill a few more minutes to have our average time length.
Yeah.
But this is interesting stuff, and maybe we should do a full episode on this exact topic.
Well, I'm sure we
will. But yeah, I have to wonder if the room escapes that aren't horror themed have a broader audience to tap.
Yeah.
And if maybe that's another upper hand.
Yeah, I think that it probably is.
So yeah, I'm wondering if go ahead.
Even if a haunted house has escape rooms that are not horror themed and are not scary, people are not going to think that they're not going to be because they're at a haunted house.
Exactly.
They're run by a haunted house.
Yeah, and that's the thing is even if the room escape thing doesn't die down.
Yeah.
It's clear to me, at least it seems to be clear that the attractions that are not connected to haunts have a broader audience they can reach. Yeah. Now, haunts have a lot of inherent expertise here in terms of the building and the design of these types of things.
Right.
And I think they have a lot of advantages of their own. Because I'll say this, the one we did at 13th Gate was bloody immersive as all hell.
Yes. Yeah, it was the most immersive.
It was the most immersive. And it had some very creative clues. It was a lot of fun. I haven't had a negative room escape experience.
No.
To be very, very clear. But that one was easily the most immersive, and I think a lot of it comes from the set design and the fact we're dealing with people that are used to building these high-quality sets.
Right, yeah.
But anyways, we'll do more on this later. This was just a quick powwow session as we round out the room escape portion. Anything else to add?
No.
Nope. Well, on that note, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you spending your hour with us. Hope you don't regret it too bad. Glad to have you. Do take a moment. Follow us on Twitter at Haunt Weekly. Follow us on Facebook at Haunt Weekly. And soon, like I said, I know we keep saying this and then we keep making plans to launch it, but hauntweekly.com is our site, and there will be a new site soon with more information, photos, all kinds of great stuff. Ways to contact us directly.
Yes.
So all kinds of cool stuff will be there.
Yes. And ways to request being a guest.
Yes, indeed. Much more useful site stuff will be there soon, we hope.
Yes, the news links will actually be a different color than the regular text.
Yes, I know. Okay, Podbean
drives me crazy.
Podbean blows. Okay, I can't help you.
All right.
They blow on that side. They do great podcasting stuff, like the statistics, the hosting, all that stuff's great. Yeah. The WordPress side of it stinks. Yeah. So we're taking over the WordPress side. That's what's taking so long. But on that note, everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly, episode 60, doing the news now for the 15th time. We will see you guys next week with a non-news topic. Thank you for joining us. Captain Flipping America!